Hello and welcome back to Tekkit Speedrun with me, James S. Sorry, that was really loud in my headphones. I didn't set it up beforehand. So this episode, we're free from mineral processing, right? Yeah, that's what I said. I said we're done. We're finally fucking done with mineral processing. But oh wait, hang on a minute. Oh wait, oh no. Yeah, sorry guys, we're not done with mineral processing because remember before I said I wanted to build it differently, you know, so it wasn't running off the lava power and all that shit. Well, it turns out that in order to, so yeah, I spent a lot of time sort of just looking around in this sort of area, trying to work out what the hell I should do. Because originally, do you remember me saying I was going to build a floor above for item storage and keep the two systems separate? However, in the end, I thought, why not just have one unified system? I think that's more power efficient. Yeah, this was me trying to work out where I was going to bring down the ME interface. And you need that interface. Well, no, you don't need it, but I wanted that interface to be in the assembly room, which is the room that's below. I've decided this is the assembly room, and then that little bit there's the storage area. However, the storage is actually just going to be what's on the drives above. Now, in terms of Galacticraft and the Space Launch Center, actually it doesn't come out so bad in this, but while I was playing this episode, it was incredibly laggy. It was getting laggier and laggier the more complicated I made the system. So, which obviously makes sense. So I'm thinking, God, how laggy is it going to be if I try and extend the system all the way out? Well, it's not that far out. I mean, that's kind of the problem. It's all going to be in such like, oh yeah, there were fish flying everywhere, because I left that machine running, which was really stupid, but that's what happens when you record when you're drunk. Stupid things happen, right? So what I needed basically in essence in this episode was a shit ton of ME cables, because I needed them to reach all the way from the mineral processing place, which was right at the top. Why I built it all the way up there, now I have no idea. I guess it just seemed like a cool spot. I don't know, I didn't really think it through. I wasn't really in my architectural state of mind when I made it. I was more in like, I'd been wearing a beer hat for 4 hours kind of mind. But I guess it is kind of cool, a cool little system. And it would be cool to, you know, turn that into a proper like building and turn the whole mountain into part of the building. I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of all the things that I'm going to build and all of the goals that we're going to accomplish with this series, because I've had so many ideas, but I don't know how quite I'm going to structure it. I'm going to go back to the rotation idea, which is where, say, I spend one episode working on the main base, one episode working on exploration and oil extraction. That's more, I mean, the oil extraction, there's loads of oil quite close by, but it's mostly for exploring the world and sort of conquering it in a way, expanding, you know, getting more of the map, finding villages. I really want to find a village, so I've got big plans for that. So what I'll be doing with okay, so the essence here is that first I'll explain what I'm doing in this episode before I start rambling about what's happening in the future. So what's happening in this episode is I make cables. Yeah, and I need to make a lot of cables. I took away the controller because it was completely unnecessary, because they're all going to be running off just this one controller. Unless for whatever reason we need another. But I've seen some much bigger systems in other YouTube videos that have just not needed more than one controller. It basically just means you need twice as much energy as far as I'm aware. And yeah, we did have power issues in the end, because obviously all of this is just running off our humble solar panels and sugar. And our sugar ran out, okay? I remember saying before that it could last for days. Well, the days were numbered, and yeah, it did run out, but I didn't think to check until later on. So basically, that's an issue. So the server's been running now for over 24 hours. So hopefully, you know, everything's recharged up a bit. What I should have done is switched off the ME systems altogether while I was offline. That way it would have all had a chance to build up more reserve energy. Literally, I think it was literally just running on fumes in terms of the interior energy cell storage. So, but yeah, everything's charging really slowly, which made the whole episode kind of, or at least while I was playing, it doesn't seem too bad, like watching it back. Like, for example, the lag doesn't seem that bad, but it was bad. So yeah, basically this episode, making loads of cables so that I could hook up the system upstairs to the system downstairs. I didn't build another room. I just put the top drive, I switched them over. So the top drive, the ones going across, which we saw earlier, this is totally out of sync of what we're actually seeing, but what we saw earlier was the two ME drives going across. All of those slots, I think there's 20 in total, are going to be for ME64K drives. For items. And then that bottom slot is for the lava. And for the lava only. The oil will be just kept in drums because they stack when they're full. I actually am not 100% sure whether a 64K fluid drive can hold more fluid than a stack of drums of fluid. In fact, it probably doesn't. It was kind of just a cool thing to have. And it's easier as well. For the purpose that I'm using it, it's easier because then once you've got an export bus on it, you can just constantly flow lava out using it to power whatever you want to power with it. So that was why I opted to do it electronically with the ME system. Yeah, so anyway, that's how that works. I had to run a cable all the way from the top of the mountain to the bottom to that room, and then run even more cables down to the assembly area so that I could have an interface where I could access the resources that were being stored above. So, processed and stored above, in fact. So in the end, yeah, that's what I did. I was just gathering. The thing I lacked the most was nether quartz. Which actually, you know, I was ranting last time, like, why the hell am I doing this? Why am I in the nether? I was making ME cables because I didn't have enough of them. And yeah, I've got a surplus now, so we should be good for a little while. Until it comes to building, if I do build a line all the way to the freaking Space Launch Center. I say all the way, it's not that far, it's literally just going to go into the bay. So yeah, back to what I'm going to be doing in terms of episodes and like scheduling in the future. I've decided to build, this is probably going to take away from the oil mission a little bit. So in terms of exploration, I've got these designs in my head, alright? Every 1,000 blocks, whatever the minimap system uses and the waypoint system uses, I'm going to go north 1,000 blocks and build a railway station. And then I'm going to go south, and then I'm going to go east, and then I'm going to go west. And then what we've got, essentially, is a grid in each side. And they're all going to be interconnected. And basically what I'm building is a global rail network that will allow me to travel the world, render more of the map, because I can do the same thing from each station, meaning that the grid just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and expands outwards, and then everything within the grid I'm just going to call mine, basically. if I find a large oil reserve, I'll probably build a big refinery out there. But the idea is I can build up bases, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rail lines to send materials to the bases. You know, so say I'm going to build a base, build a big base. Literally, I just send all the stuff down the railways. And with Steve Carts, you can build these really cool, well, you can build loads of really cool shit with Steve Carts. I don't really know much about it at the moment. I know more about the previous version, this version. But you can build them with like super massive like storage. So it'd be really easy to send pretty much an entire base down the rails. So it'll be easy to expand in that extent. And because we're sourcing so much materials and it's all automatic now, that's something we don't even have to worry about. So I'm going to alternate between working on the rail network and exploring the world. Because like I'm not literally just going to be building these railways. I'm also going to be, see, this is me placing the interface down. I'm also going to be like exploring the areas in between. And hopefully we'll find a village and we can start meeting people from Minecraft Comes Alive. What I'm going to then do is expand the villages and give each one a purpose and name them and stuff like that, and outposts. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so that's one section of episodes, the exploration. The other, working towards space. Which will be continuing that rail line that I'm rails again, building the underwater launch center. Basically, that's literally what that is. That's what those episodes are going to be. And then as soon as like sort of the place is built, I can start. Okay, I'm running out of time. I can start. Basically, I can start building all the machines and everything we need to go to space and building the actual launch silo or whatever. Then, obviously, the third and final episode will be base improvement of the main headquarters, which is what this is, which is like decorating, like doing up them stairs, all of it, decorating all the base, and that will extend to the launch center as well. And the nether base, because that weird cobblestone bit you see out there, that's all part of the base. I consider what's through the portal to be connected to the base, so part of the same base anyway. So that's the plan. That's the big plan. And over time, it's going to get fucking massive. It's going to be great. Anyway, God, Jesus Christ. Oops, I should not have done that. But yeah, this is so cool, right? Because, yeah, so at this point I was sort of like, I've got time left. I finished what I set out to do. I didn't want to make it a short episode. I wanted to just take the time to sort my inventory out, clear some space, make sure the fish machine was off. Because I realised I can't really, so I wanted to get the quarries running again so I could configure finally fully configure the mineral processing. But because I didn't have enough power to run the quarries or really do anything, I knew I'd have to wait and leave the server running for a while with me not on it, because it takes ages for all this shit to charge up via solar arrays. But I don't want to build too many of them because it will just lag the place out. And also only without extending the chunk loader massively or building more of them, which would just cause ridiculous lag. Yeah, so this is just me demonstrating how the sugar thing works. As you can see, like, the engines fire on as soon as that sugar gets turned into coal. This is way more efficient than, you know, the usual shit. And this is it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.